Feel those PS5 load times.
Time to hit the theater.
What's up,
Yeah, it makes
everybody? This is Chris and Max,
pretty
and we're still
jealous.
playing the hits.
Yep. How you doing?
I'm doing, baby. We are, I forget what we're doing story-wise. I think we're trying to convince Finn that we're not bad dudes.
All right.
A bad dude.
As I've told Addie, because she wants to play this game with me too. It's like, yeah, I have actually
It's so
no
good.
idea what we're doing in the story. and
That's good.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm just watching Spider-Man swing around,
Just doing
That's
Spider-Man
cool.
stuff.
just doing Spider-Man
We
stuff.
should change costumes. We haven't changed costumes yet. What do you want, Max? I got them
Oh,
all.
that's right, because you have everything. Okay. Does he have a 29? Oh, that's fucking cool, though.
Yeah, he's got 2020, which
2026.
is kind of funny.
Yeah.
He's got a winter suit with a Santa hat. He does have a, where is it? Miles Morales 2099.
2099. Oh, that's interesting. I like that one.
Know that?
But I'm a 2099 guy. I do like that series.
It is cool.
Probably one of the few people. I feel like a lot of people don't.
Well, it was
but,
so 90s, man. It was
was
like such a
90s,
great
it was
90s
dark.
future. Yeah.
Yeah, which maybe people think the 90s Spider-Man was kind of too dark, where it's just like, yeah, life is meaningless. There's a whole bunch of clones, and here's 2099, where the first story is like some woman coming back from the dead or some shit. You know,
Is that what that was? I don't
necromancy.
think I think I purchased like a few 2099 comics, but they were like right in the middle, and I had no context. So
Yeah. Oh yeah, 2099 was great, and it was kind of fucking dark and twisted.
yeah.
Same thing with like the Venom comics and stuff, and you get to see like Cletus Cassidy as a kid, just
Yeah.
like
Getting,
drilling his
like,
mom's
abused.
brain out and
Yep.
stuff. Like, oh yeah, that was the shit back in the day.
Like 90s Marvel had like a peculiar edge to it that I really enjoyed.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, like, I'm not one of those people where like everything has to be dark and sinister or I can't take it seriously, but like, you know, like, I don't know, like there's something about like 90s pulp, you know, that I don't know, I can't describe it. It's
There's-
different from like the kind of dark and gritty shit you get today.
Yeah, I was about to say there's grit to it, but I'm not talking about like DC modern, DC Universe grit or something
Right.
like in the movies.
Where like
There's
their
just-
goal is to make you depressed. It was like in the 90s. It was like, I don't know. It was kind of like grunge rock kind of aesthetic.
I feel like I know what you're talking about, but it's like hard to explain
Yeah,
because
it's hard to put your finger on it, right?
yeah, because it's like, is it grunge or rock? It's like, no, but I know what you mean. Like,
But yeah, you can identify the distinct look of it, can't you?
yeah, and also the art. Yeah, that was another thing. Is like they weren't as experimental with the art. It was just good. It was
good art.
Not like today's isn't good, but it was more consistent and just like
They're still
they were
shooting.
going. they were going for just like telling as much as they could
at me. Right.
in a panel, and it just looking crisp
Mm-hmm.
without being like, it was never minimalist. It
No.
wasn't that. But anyway, yeah. So,
Yeah, no, there was nothing
Big fan
minimal
of
about
2099.
like the really like smooth edges and things that we have today. That I feel like that really didn't start until like maybe 2008 or so.
yeah, it wasn't until like I was already an adult, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and like I wasn't reading nearly as much comics.
No, I've never read as much comics as I did in elementary school and middle school, really.
Oh, yeah.
Even in high school, not as much. Wow, that guy's an idiot.
He deserves what he's gonna get.
he deserves to die.
They all do. Miles is
I feel
learning
like
some
you're
lessons,
fighting
lessons
a bunch
from
of
Ryo
teenagers
Hazuki.
and stuff. Oh.
Uh-oh, nothing.
Yeah.
These guys are already
Man.
dead. They just don't know it yet.
Dude, I have been eating like absolute shit lately. It's terrible. And I feel like
Do you really mean
Most
that,
not-
though?
yeah, most nights I'm just like, ugh, my fucking stomach.
Like, what did I
It
do?
hurts. Exactly. I'm not even like just satisfied or full. I just hate myself.
Dude, we got
I'm
the
just like, ow.
we got the county fair open in Bloomington, and it's like right in our backyard because we live next to a park, and that park
Oh,
hosts the county fair.
That's cool.
Well, and so Sarah took Kana there tonight. I had a freaking like work meeting in the evening that I had to be a part of, so I couldn't go. But they brought me back a funnel cake. I fucking shotgunned that thing so hard. I did good.
Like,
I
that's
had, like,
too heavy for me.
Yeah, like I had nothing but a Slim Fast for lunch and some beef and veggie stir fry for dinner, and so I had a real good day. And I fucking demolished that funnel cake like with no remorse.
Yeah, I get it, and it feels like
I love how she kept screaming at me on her way down.
She's very dedicated to the cause.
Right. She was. I noticed Miles doesn't, like, you know, strap them to the sides of buildings like Peter did.
Yeah.
Miles gives a few less shits, you know, overall.
Yeah. Less qualms about. He just likes taking lives.
Kind of the Catwoman philosophy, you know, like he'll kill without hesitation when he has to.
A little more all or nothing for him.
Right. It's not necessarily his first choice, but he doesn't stop him either. Anyway, what were we talking? Oh, the elephant or the funnel cake. Yeah, I'm not even sorry.
I'm not. That's good. As long as you know what the thing is, it's like that's not what I'm doing. I really regret the choices I make. So
I'll regret it tomorrow. Like I'll be like, why the fuck did I do that? Like I had such a good day.
But right now you don't.
No.
See, I almost immediately regret what I do. And unfortunately, I do binge eat sometimes.
Yeah,
that's definitely something I gotta really look at, because right now I wanna have my cake and eat it too, literally. I want to lose weight, and
I do the same thing.
But I
like,
don't want to do the work.
You know, I do the work though. That's the problem. Like I work out a lot, and
yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah, you do.
That battle turned. And what was I just saying? Damn it.
You work out a lot. You do the work.
Yeah, but you know, like just diet. I like fatty fucking foods.
Don't we all? I get it. And you're never gonna not like them. You're always gonna want them.
That's the worst part. Like, there's no magic formula that can make me just like, you know, see a freaking triple cheeseburger and a salad and be like, ooh, salad.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I think it's just about like replacing certain things with other, like a crave. Instead of a craving for a burger, it's like, yeah, that's there, but I also crave to have a beach body or something. I don't know what it is. Yeah. Usually it has to be more short term than that.
And in a weird way, like learning that I'm in pretty good health like really slowed me down.
Yeah.
It's like, my heart's not in trouble. My cholesterol is fine now.
Well, that's good. Yeah, your cholesterol's doing better.
Yeah. It turned out to be a problem with, like, it was less diet. It was actually like a disorder that, like, I overproduce cholesterol. Like, my body wants to produce a ton of it. And so, like, this medication I'm on completely levels it out with, like, no side effects whatsoever.
Well, that's good. I mean, stress hormones just do so much, and including with that is cholesterol.
Mm-hmm.
Stress just seems to kill you in so many different ways. It's great.
Oh yeah, that's still there, but
you're doing something like a statin, like Simvastatin or something?
Yeah, atorvastatin.
Okay.
Whoops, just clocked my microphone.
Totally not suspicious.
Yeah, I'm on atorvastatin, kind of low dose, nothing major, but
that's good.
It's operating exactly as it should. And
that's great, yeah. Yep. And you're not getting like any kind of muscle rigidity or anything like that.
I do notice like my feet get stiff, like when I take those first few steps after sleeping or sitting at my desk for a while. Like my feet, the bottoms of my feet are like aching, and I have to walk it off for like a second, but it's in no way debilitating.
Yeah, man, our younger selves would just totally.
Yeah, I know. Like, what are you?
Guys are fucking lame,
old man. What are you doing? There's like 120-pound version of myself out there who would be furious if you could see what has happened to me.
Yeah, I'd like to think I have that too in some parallel universe.
But you know, the funny thing is too, though, like, you know, I clearly care, or I wouldn't be working out as much as I do. But at the same time, it's like, I mean, this is gonna sound bad, but like, I'm married. Who am I like really trying to have like 8-pack abs for if my wife still finds me attractive. And I'm moderately healthy.
I get that, but
Yeah.
it's kind of like why do people dress up?
Yeah.
It's like to impress your partner and stuff too.
Yeah.
But it's also just like looking good for
Yeah,
complete
it
strangers
feels
and
nice to
stuff.
look
it
good.
makes you feel good. Yeah.
And
It's
so
kinda like,
no,
damn, I'm
I
sexy.
do dress in a way that makes me feel sexy, but
Like, I'd fuck me.
yeah,
Guess she told the rest
I'm
of the
rocking the
girls
hell
in
out of this
tabs.
tie.
Hey man, a good tie.
Yeah,
It's
it'll
cool. I get-
throw the piece together. That's for sure.
Yeah, have a good tie.
Good idea.
And I have this is the thing is I wear like 5% of my ties, but I collect ties, and
I
there's
know.
no
I do the
reason for me to
same
take.
damn thing. I have like 20 ties, and I have like a rotation of 5 or 6 that I actually wear.
Yeah, me too. And it's like
Well,
I have my
because
favorite ties.
Part of it is like, I know roughly what looks good on me, but I've never been good at like color coordinating or outfit coordinating, if that makes
Mhm.
sense. Like I don't know, like, for instance, like how to wear red pants. Like I
I
can't,
get you.
I can't pull that off.
Wear like a dark blue shirt.
Yeah, you make it sound so easy.
But there's also certain things like a black tie, and most red ties will go with pretty much anything.
Yeah.
Blue ties not so much, but they'll go with certain things. I
Dude,
guess it all
I
kind
own
of
like 5 blue shirts.
yeah. Most of mine are like patterns and stuff, but it's like dark blue.
Yeah,
gray.
they're just different kinds of
and-
blue. Yeah.
That's about it actually. A lot of dark blue and gray shirts. And you probably dress up like 20 times more than I do. Like for work, it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
scrubs
I
100%
do a shirt
of the
and tie to
time.
work. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess they say I can do like business casual for the residential that I pick up with, but I still just do scrubs because I don't have to think about it.
Yeah,
It's-
it's kind of nice.
Yeah, it is nice. But yeah, I do like to dress up. It's just the same few ties, and the other ones are like, man, I really like this tie in theory.
Right.
I could wear it one day.
If I could figure out how to wear this tie,
Mhm.
wouldn't that be so nice?
Wouldn't that be great? Yeah. And I spend like actual money on these things, like,
Right.
and then pretty much never wear them, like, because I have cotton ties, but those were some of my first ones. I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
It's just like, no, of course you gotta have silk ties, like.
I gotta drape my ass in velvet. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
never gonna do it, but I just
And
want to
even
have
though
the
they're
option.
They're a pain in the ass to wash, so you never want to get them dirty. Like,
Yeah.
I pretty much never, and I guess it's like dry clean. I pretty much never
Bitch exploded the bridge.
wash my ties or clean them because
Right.
I try to be really careful with them. But yeah, when you do have to clean one, it's a pain in the ass. It's
You
pretty
know
much
the other thing
you can't
that I
do it
do
yourself.
that pisses me off? Like, I'll keep nicer clothes that I have from like 10 years ago,
What?
where I'm like, okay,
How could she
I'm totally gonna lose 20 pounds and get back into this shirt
Yeah.
like next week.
Mhm.
Like, just fucking buy
And
new
it's
nice
taking-
clothes, and then if you do lose the weight, then you can treat yourself to like a nice size small shirt that
Yeah.
actually fits you now.
Or
feel good
the
about
things
that.
that you liked back in the day, yeah, you can wear them again.
Right.
But
But instead, I
I
just
get
like
it.
let them fill up space in my closet, even though I never wear them.
Yeah. It took me a few years to be like, oh shit, maybe I should buy like some size 34 pants, like dress pants.
Right? Oh, and you like
Or-
just crammed your ass into 32s as long as you
Exactly.
could.
It's just like, no, fuck that.
It's like, I'm in so much pain, but look how thin I am.
I would literally think like, you know what, this pain is gonna motivate me to
Right?
I'm not gonna do this the next time, but of course I would.
We are shockingly similar people, you and I.
Yeah, we are shockingly the
Stupid.
same dumb person,
Yeah,
the
right.
same stupid idiot.
We're both just fucking idiots. But like, we're the same exact kind of idiot.
Ugh.
I'm going to stealth this until it becomes inconvenient to stealth it.
That's the Spider-Man way.
That is the Spider-Man way. Oh shit, I'm not close enough to detonate it. There we go.
You haven't really played any Mortal Kombat recently, have you? Like Mortal Kombat
No,
11?
I'm just like, there's a part of me that like, I love certain fighting games, but I just have to be real with myself and understand I'm not good at fighting games.
I get it. Yeah, I'm not nearly as good as I used to be. Because
You're
you have to...
10 times better than me, I promise you.
I really want to get Strive though, Guilty Gear Strive, and that game is doing
Is
well
that the one
for a
that's like,
fighting
it
game.
is 3D, but it really, really, really looks like sprites?
Yes, yeah. Arc System Works is the king of that. Ever since like Guilty Gear Xrd, they've
Zerd.
been doing that. Yeah, Zerd.
I call it Zerd.
Xrd.
Lizard, Skizzard.
Dude, Strive is a beautiful game, and
It
they are so
looks-
good at
it
that.
looks
where
amazing, yeah.
there's a lot you could do with the 3D. Like they do really good at making it look like just very pretty sprites. Because you see games like King of Fighters or something, King of Fighters 14, 15, and
Yeah.
they're ugly. They're kind of gross looking.
Yeah, you know, like there was like a certain time where like I feel like we got really into cell shading and we weren't quite there in making it look like really cartoony, so it just kind of looked like lazy texturing.
Yeah. Then you got like Street Fighter, which is obviously 3D, but they do it cartoony,
Yes.
and it's like
Now,
okay,
now
cool.
that I'm more on board with. It's
I'm on
very
board with
clearly
that.
3D, but they do it in a cartoony kind of way.
Yeah, that's like
which
their
is
style.
it's not cell shading; it's its own unique style. Yeah.
Yeah. But then Guilty Gear, Arc System Works in general, they make it look like it's hand drawn.
Right.
Even though it
which
isn't.
is incredible.
It's hand drawn until they do like a weird camera angle and zoom around, and
Right.
it's like, oh shit, like that's amazing. They're so good at what they do, and
Yeah.
I'm really glad that they're kind of taking off. Like Dragon Ball Fighters, like
Uh-huh.
put them on the map, and now people are like, oh yeah, these guys are pretty good. So
Give them a budget, yeah.
yeah, like Strive looks so much better than Xrd. And Xrd I was not a big fan of. I'm just, again, we talk about nostalgia. The Guilty Gear Double X games, like they did the same thing with Street Fighter 2, where it's like there was 6 versions of it basically.
Yeah.
But they're my favorite ones. Like I love those games, and they changed it in Xrd, a lot of different mechanics, and now Strive is different as well. But I hear Strive is pretty good, a little
Yeah.
casual friendly, but at the same time it's kind of a double-edged sword where it's like, oh yeah, casuals feel good because everything has high damage output,
Yeah, right.
but then you're always going to have pros that are going to dominate. So all of
yeah.
a sudden high damage output also means someone does a 90% hit combo on you, and it's like,
Uh-huh.
oh fuck, like
Dude, like certain episodes of High Score Girl, when we were watching that all the time,
yeah.
that hit home so hard because like that's really what it was like. You know, there were like people that
Oh,
could
yeah.
actually land like 100 hit combos in some of these games, and I was just fucking defenseless. You know,
Yeah,
I was
right?
always the guy on the other side of the arcade cabinet
Yup.
in that metaphorical scenario.
Yeah, I would never try to pick fights with people, but
No.
yeah, I get that, where you would see these people who lived at the arcade, which was never me. I loved it.
Right.
But seeing like the teenagers and stuff who would pull off these crazy combos, like when I'd be playing Mortal Kombat 2 as a kid, like way before I should have been playing it,
Yeah.
and I would have people doing what I can do these days, but as a kid they would be like, they would flying kick me and throw a fan, doing a combo before combos existed, and it'd be
Right.
like, what the fuck, like holy shit, and they would know all the fatalities and stuff. Yeah, I was the kid that was in awe of that and getting his
Yeah.
ass
Oh,
kicked.
yeah.
Oh snap.
So like, growing up in Napoleon, Ohio, of course, we did not have a real arcade. The closest thing we had were the arcade machines at Pizza Hut. And then whenever the county
Mm-hmm.
fair came to town, they would actually set up a really cool tent of arcade games.
Yeah.
They had like The Simpsons, they had like all the Mortal Kombats and Street Fighters and shit. And like, every
have
once in a
had
while,
X-Men.
like, there were certain years where they would have like an SNK game, which was kind of neat.
Yeah, I don't
Because-
remember that, but that's cool.
Well, because what they would do is they would source they would hire a company from Toledo to come and do that tent, and you know, in Toledo they had cool shit because it
They
was
had,
an actual
they had a
city.
mall, and yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It was either the fair, which came once a year, playing like Cruising USA and maybe the really old stuff at like Pizza Hut,
yep.
or you'd have to go to like Southwood
Dude.
Mall or something.
Though I gotta say
go to Red
that
Baron.
Pizza Hut had for the longest time only 2 arcade machines, but they were legit because it was not Streets of Rage, but Final Fight and Golden Axe.
And which is the beginning of High Score Girl does remind me of that because I remember we had final fights.
Yeah, we would
and
like
it was
play
just
it
like,
together.
I have good memories of that, even though like I wasn't very good at it. Like I never
It
beat
was
the arcade
fun. It was
version.
always fun.
Yeah,
Even if
it was
just
always
designed
fun.
to eat your quarters.
And of course, there were those people that possible. You could get really good at it.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't just something
like-
that was insurmountable. Well, what's up?
So this part of the game, it's cool and everything. You're chasing the Tinker around and everything, and it's your friend Finn, and now Miles just reveals who he is to her. So Miles has spider superpowers, right? He can go really fast. He's got super strength, and he doesn't get hurt as much when he gets hit. Where the fuck she has some like little fancy rocket skates, but like they don't ever explain why she has like the kung fu training to zip around the city like she can do.
Yeah, that's true. Like
She's like a
if-
fucking
if
high
I-
school student. She
If
can
I
do this.
steal Iron Man's technology, there's no way I'm gonna be able to even fly
Right.
10 feet off the ground. Like,
And like her stuff is supposed to be like all home built, and she's fucking like taking out Spider-Man at this point in the game.
yeah, that is kind of crazy. I mean, maybe she's like some kind of super genius, but
Yeah, but super genius
Yeah.
does not equate to like ninjutsu level reflexes. You know?
that's true too. Unless you're like
Usually
Robert
it's
Downey,
the opposite,
Sherlock
as
Holmes.
a matter of fact.
Yeah,
there's a
that's
trade-off
true.
that happens there.
There's usually a trade-off.
I need some advice.
Like me, I poured all my points into charisma, so now my brain don't work so good.
Yeah, you need to re-roll your character, dude.
Yeah, right.
Talk
I
to you
think we
soon.
both do.
Yeah, I could have put a little bit more into, stamina and physique, but no.
Guess I should
Yeah.
give some time to Uncle Aaron's street.
This is starting to sound like it would get into like a weird suicide territory kind of quickly.
Dude, let's fucking respect together. It'll be awesome.
Let's respect, dude. I love you, bro. Let's fucking do this.
Let's
Drink
do
the
it. I'm gonna
Kool-Aid.
drink this, and we're gonna respect. You drink
Oh,
it right
man.
after I do. You'll respect.
Hey, that got dark.
Oh, God. Why is all of our comedy so mean?
That's how we do, man. It's also like how we fucking grew up. Like
Yeah, that's true.
we were definitely on the outside of a lot.
Yeah, that's true. Like, I don't. So, like, clearly kids today have their own shit to deal with, and it's all
Oh, yeah.
legitimate. Like, I'm not one of those adults who are like, oh, you kids have it so easy and you don't even realize it.
No,
But,
they have
like,
fucking cyberbullying. Like,
Yeah, dude, and
That's
I
terrible.
can't imagine, like, if like some of the weird shit that I did in the privacy of my own home could have gotten on the internet, like, I probably would have been clinically depressed as a child.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, like, there was, like, there was kind of a level of outsiderdom that you and I had as young kids that, in a weird way, like, legitimately, younger people today really, truly don't know, like, what it was like to be rejected socially because of the fact that you either played video games regularly or liked anime or stuff like that. Like, those are just kind of
Yeah.
such normal parts of, like, you have like star athletes who love, I don't know what anime are kids into today.
I don't know, Haijuku or
Yeah,
freaking-
they love the Narutos and
the Narutos, yeah, the
Narutos
One
and
Pieces.
the Bleaches. You know,
I get what you mean. It's interesting that
those things kind of
you-
took off like while we were in college and became part of like the cultural zeitgeist.
they became mainstream,
Yeah.
but even things that are not mainstream, like a kid likes crocheting or something, there really seems to be a you do you.
Yeah,
know?
there's a little
Like,
bit more like that celebrating what makes you different now, which
Yes.
is a great thing.
It
but,
is
like,
great.
Where the fuck was that? You know, when I was a
Right? Where's that
16-year-old
acceptance?
virgin. You know, come on.
Oh,
There's
no,
our objective.
Nice. Yeah, so it made you, like, when you found other people that had the same interest and were a lot like you, it was great.
Right.
You feel like you found your people.
Yeah.
But at the same time, yeah, there was definitely, you could feel the stigma
Oh yeah.
that it was just like, hey, you want to go outside? It's like, I really don't. And it's just
Yeah,
like,
right.
man, you're such a, what's wrong with you?
Why
you
don't
know?
why don't you like us beating your ass in basketball? 'Cause I
right.
fucking suck at basketball.
Yeah,
No
and I
amount
think
of training
especially
is going to make me 6 inches taller and good at basketball.
I think especially the town we grew up in, you
Yeah.
know, it was a lot
it
of
was
like
football or nothing.
yeah.
Well, like Napoleon is one of those towns that was so rural that even soccer was considered kind of, you know,
European and gay.
yeah, a little gay. I mean, yeah, it's a sport, but is it really a sport? Sport? You don't even hit anybody. At least basketball, you can, you know, rib people and
Someone's trying to break into a
I don't know.
store.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're joking, but that really is kind of what it was like. And like, I remember when you and I didn't feel like going out to recess because we didn't feel like getting made fun of that day. Like, we would pretend to be gay with each other in order to get one of the teachers to, like, bully us. But, like, in a way that, you know, I don't even think I realized it was, like, how toxic it was at the time. But we just knew that if we pretended to be gay for a little bit, I don't even mind saying his name because he's probably dead and he was an asshole. Mr. Brubaker would, like, corner us and be like, "What are you two doing?" And just hanging out. We're just buds.
I feel like oh well, actually I won't, but LM, who was
Okay.
I don't know if he was just my 5th grade teacher or if he was both of ours. I think he was just mine, but I feel like he definitely was in on that too.
Oh yeah, totally.
But where was it? Was it? Oh no, it was 6th grade because we were both in his class. 6th grade is when we got separated.
No, we got separated in 5th grade, and I think precisely because of that reason.
Okay.
No, we were together in 3rd and 4th, and then 5th.
I think they definitely.
Oh wait,
that
no,
was
no,
on
you're right.
purpose.
We both had LM. Yeah, no, you're right. You didn't
we
have
had
K.
LM.
Yeah.
But in 6th grade, I think they separated us, and I don't think that was random.
No, totally not.
Not at all.
Because like the compassionate thing to do would have been like, hey, these two kind of offbeat kids actually have really good friends in each other. We should, you know, like actually let them hang out together. No,
Yeah.
not so much.
Yeah. It never affected our academics, and actually,
No.
interestingly, we were both like pretty good, you know, academically. I think.
Yeah, my
We-
problem was I just didn't freaking care to do the work half the time.
Yeah, I get you. I mean, I was a big procrastinator. Always
Oh,
am.
still am.
Still am. Yeah.
Okay, don't think about.
Oh, this is kind of a cool side quest. When you and Addie play this together, you have to do this one for the story, but this
Yeah.
is kind of fun. You have to like look at the environment and figure out like what the sound sample that he's taken is, and like identify it. It's pretty cool.
Try moving in a little closer. Good sound, but it's muffled. Try and get a clear line of sight.
So I already know this one, obviously. So, but yeah, no, that was kind of a weird time
That's interesting.
That's it.
to be alive.
Yeah. Yeah, there was actually some good in it. Again, like there was the good and the bad.
Yeah.
Like it was cool to obviously people connect over things today, you know, but
Right.
it also there was some camaraderie where it was just like, dude, here's a place you can get this anime. Like
Yeah,
it was rare. It
Yeah.
was hard to get and come across.
right.
And it really felt
And my thought there is too, like, who knows? Maybe like you and I wouldn't have connected and become best friends if there were like a lot of other people who shared the interest that, you know, united us.
Yeah. if there was like if everyone was playing fucking Mortal Kombat and had an interest in the universal like monsters basically,
Yeah, right.
yeah, I think there was that chance.
Yeah, like if there were like a whole bunch of people just like waiting to be friends with geeks like you and me, we might not have met.
Yeah. It is funny this
You know,
to
you said you
be
never
back there,
finished
but to
the
have the
sentence
mind and the
because it was bad
knowledge
between you.
of,
Yeah, I know, right?
of an adult and how things could have been.
That-
It's not
that
like
is
I have
one of my
regrets.
favorite. Yeah, that's like one of my favorite daydreams. Like, what would I do with like the superpower knowledge that I have today, like in
Yeah.
1995?
Right? And can you imagine just like again, like the bullies
Yeah,
and how stupid
Alright,
like
thanks.
some of the things they said and making fun of us and feeling like, oh, I'm gonna let people down if I don't like do this really fucking stupid thing, if I
Right.
don't pretend like I gotta steal this thing or be a badass or something.
yeah,
or,
right.
You know, hey, we're just gonna hurt you and you felt like you can't tell the teachers or anything, which is also kind of true.
Yeah, that
But
shit still happens, I'm sure. Yeah.
But there's a lot of different ways to go about that instead of just being like, oh no, I'm gonna be scared of this person every time I pass them in the hallway. And
Right.
yeah,
Like, so like the funny thing is, like, I feel like ours, okay, so this is kind of the best way I can describe it. I feel like like our generation of like middle school and high school, that was like kind of the last big hurrah of like the Stephen King kind of bullies. You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly the ones that you would see in like fucking 80s movies.
Yeah,
and,
they were like actual
know.
like sociopathic killers in training, you know?
like, yeah, exactly.
Like people don't realize, like, before like anonymous reporting and like the internet, like where you could call them out on their shit, like, yeah, these kind of people actually existed and got away with it.
And they would just like kick your ass, like literally, because
Like
they just felt like
you
it.
tell on them, yeah, they're gonna get a detention, but you're actually gonna get your ass beat with no consequence.
Yeah, you knew that they would just talk it, like literally the bad advice that is known universally as bad advice, like, oh, talk it out with them. And
Yeah,
they're more scared of you than you are of them. It's like, that
That's
is
not true.
horseshit.
They're not scared of me at all, as it turns out. Oh, God.
Which, to be fair, my dad never gave advice like that. He
No,
was always
mine
just
didn't
like, don't
either.
look for a fight, but if you have to, like, don't take shit, basically.
If anything, there were times where I didn't tell my dad when I was being picked on because I was afraid of what he would do.
Yeah. Like, why are you letting them pick on you? You
No,
gotta be stronger, or-
not to me, to them.
Oh God, I can't.
My dad straight up could, like, he never had a temper towards me, but he could have a temper. Like, holy shit. Like,
Yeah.
Like-
well, it's like if someone is doing that to his kid.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. Which, you know, to his credit, was, you know, his way as a single parent of, you know, defending his kids. But, like, if like something went wrong, or like, you know, like in the instances where like teachers were just being like vindictive towards me because I was a weird kid, like he would make it super uncomfortable when they would call him in, like,
Oh,
to
yeah.
talk about me. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, well, like, to the
I-
point, though, where, like, I was uncomfortable. I was like, oh,
yeah.
God.
Oh, I get that.
You know what, Dad?
like-
I'll just fucking do my math work a little harder next time. It's
And
not a big
again,
deal.
that is something where there is actual injustice, and
Yeah.
they would see it. Like your dad would see it,
Yeah,
and you would just feel guilty and embarrassed.
right.
and that's you talk about daydreaming, you know, when you just had the knowledge and be like, why would I worry
Right.
about those things, and why would I feel embarrassed when
Yeah.
I truly was being wronged or something? Like,
Yeah. Well, and part of that,
Speaking-
too,
Oh,
is,
go ahead.
like, part of my daydreams are like, man, what if I could go back to the 7th grade and just, like, actually turn in my work on time so that I wasn't so fucking miserable coming into class every day? Because it wasn't hard work. I just didn't want to do it, and then I got so behind that it was really stressing me out.
yeah,
But like part of it is, yeah, like I would go back and have my revenge, but then the other parts are just like I would make it easier on myself by not being a douche.
yeah. And also just like taking more chances as far fear stopped me from doing a lot of things, like asking out girls I liked.
Yep. Oh, totally.
You
dude.
know, and when it's just like, at that age, all you have to do is not be fucking stupid.
Right,
because
yeah,
most of the
exactly.
boys, especially,
And I was
are.
so stupid.
Yeah, we were stupid in our own way,
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, and there too, like I think about that, like, oh man, what if I had asked out so and so in like the 8th grade or something like that, and you know, like
Yeah.
I was confident enough and suave enough to like actually make her like me. It's like, well, yeah, but you're fucking married and you have 2 kids, so probably a good thing that didn't work out.
That's true. Let me make an anime recommendation while we're here.
Yes.
If that is something you like to think about, have you ever heard of Erase?
Huh.
It's and it has like a longer name, but it's just called Erased when you're looking for it on like streaming services. I think it actually might be on Netflix now too, but it's
Oh.
definitely like, oh god,
I didn't even mean
wow.
to do that one. Wow, this is big.
It's on all like the anime streaming services, but it's also on Hulu if
Okay.
you have that.
Yes,
and-
Hulu's a great source for anime.
It really is. Interestingly, it never used to be. But yeah, check it out, Erased on Hulu then. And I think you'll like it. And literally, it doesn't take too long to get into it. If you're not into it after like 2 or 3 episodes, it probably wouldn't interest you. But I think it is something that you would definitely like.
Okay,
So,
cool.
Talk. It has to do with the subject we're talking about right now.
Oh,
So
cool. Like going back and like fixing your stupid mistakes as a kid.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay.
It's
Trying to steal from
it's basically that mixed with murder mystery
Sweet.
and fixing. Oh, maybe I can this
Fixing
classmate I
other
liked.
people's mistakes by
Yeah,
killing
maybe-
them.
Maybe I can. As a kid, I knew this person was being abused and stuff, and I was just so scared. And now, as an adult, I'll be like talking to their mom and being like, "Hey, fuck you! Like,
Right?
what the hell's
That's
wrong with you hitting
intriguing,
your
yeah.
kid?" Yeah. So it's a very good show.
Huh. I might have to check that.
Mm.
Like the
Definitely
newest
check it
anime that I've been into. So like, Castlevania. Obviously, if you can call that like real legit anime, but I
Yeah,
still, I think it is.
Western anime.
Yeah, it is.
It's
still
an
good.
interesting thing because it is good and
Right.
that studio. I mean, I haven't watched The Blood of Zeus yet. I actually did watch the first episode and it was all right, but just to see something that's near and dear to our hearts from childhood.
Yeah, that's why
and
I
to
like
give
High
it-
Score Girl so much.
Yeah,
And
But
then
to show respect for something that is a video game and has been maligned for video game movies, video game shows that they
Right.
just haven't been good. And for something to not only be good, but to be
yeah,
one of the best pieces of animation I've ever seen.
yeah, Castlevania
just like-
freaking buried that hatchet.
Oh my god. Such a
Um,
good show.
And then the only other anime in the more recent history of anime that I've really been into is One Punch Man, and that's just clever.
Oh yeah. It is clever.
That's
yeah,
just clever shit. I think I just like clever shit, no matter what form it takes.
it subverts the expectations of like shonen and kind of pokes fun, but also just a beautiful show. The animation.
It is. The animation
when-
is great. Like the characters are freaking raucous. Like I think King is one of my favorite characters of any show ever.
Yeah. Yeah. King is fucking awesome.
I'm sorry, King steals that show for me. He's just such a fucking punk.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Just lying and shit.
What Krieger did.
and it always works out for him. I love
know.
that.
And, like,
Everyone just thinks he's a badass.
Saitama, you're like, just fucking let him fail. But then he starts to become endearing, and you're like, no, don't let him fail.
No, yeah.
Let the myth persist. Yeah.
And that he is legitimately good at fighting games. But that's
Yes,
like his
I love
thing.
that. I love that he
And-
like
and-
frustrates Saitama so much by beating his ass
Right?
and fighting him. Like, just try not to suck. That's all.
And it's like Saitama, for all that he's good at, he's like horrible at like the worst kind of. I'm just gonna pick the biggest person
Right?
and let me spam like the low kick move or something. And King's like the guy that's like pretty good at fighting games. That's like, you idiot.
I love too that we get like these kind of dramatic narrative arcs surrounding Genos. You know, like you know,
Oh,
he's
right.
like your cliche anime protagonist. You know,
Yeah.
and he's a cool guy, right? Like he's not portrayed as just like a douche. Like he's a nice guy, and he works with Saitama, and he's his master and everything. But like at the same time though, like basically they kind of just use him as an excuse to build the dramatic tension until
Yeah.
Saitama
He gets
shows up and just
He gets his ass
demolishes-
beat a lot.
Right, yeah. Well, like everything would be lost for One Punch Man showing up at the last second and just
Yeah.
demolishing everything.
It's also kind of funny that they have to. There is actual drama sometimes where
Oh,
it
yeah.
feels like, oh shit, stuff's actually going on.
It's just
But
that
they-
drama has nothing to do really with the main character of the show.
No,
which is kind
they
of
have to
interesting.
invent. They have to invent reasons for him to not be there.
Right.
Because if he was at all places at all times, there would be zero drama.
Right. Like, oh my god, I fucking loved that, like, 2-episode arc where he was in the fighting tournament, and there was that dude with, you know, like, the long hair and the, like, super kicks and everything.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and, like, he was unstoppable. And then not only did Saitama, like, you know, just kind of throw the fight in order to, like, learn something new, but then when,
Yeah.
like, the actual monster showed up, like, he learned a lesson about humility because Saitama wasn't there to save his ass until the last second.
Yeah. He got his ass beat a little bit. Yeah.
A little bit, Jesus, like he's never gonna walk again.
Yeah.
You're a real prick.
But no, that was a great episode because you saw this character like in just like by interacting with the main character go from like a complete asshole to someone worth
To
saving.
being humbled.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
other people's ideas.
At least I still got a pulse, babe.
Oh yeah, he's the
Wow,
villain
this
now.
guy went total like 80s guy douche.
Yep.
Very quickly.
He's like the business guy from Futurama.
Yeah.
Wow.
I love
Nice.
that they went through the work to even make the optional costumes take damage decals for cutscenes. Did you notice that?
That is actually really cool.
Like most games, like he would be beat up, but he would still have like a pristine costume. No, in this one they actually do individual damage decals. Like the main costume does not have a hood, so like they didn't
Yeah.
need to add like the scratches and the tears and everything, but they still
On
did.
the hood. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really cool. And it's also like what they would do back in the day is there's only one costume in the cutscenes
Right,
because most of them were pre-rendered.
right. No matter what you
And
were
it's
wearing,
like-
you would always be in the default gear.
They don't do that pretty much at all anymore, which is good. But usually it would just be like, here's the thing you're supposed to be wearing, and maybe we have some detail here. Or we
Right.
just don't add much detail to anything in these kind of things.
Yeah.
Because else you have to put in the work for everything. Or there's just not a whole lot of customization options. So they went the extra mile.
Right. And
I'm
like
also just so
anymore-
impressed. Oh, good.
Anymore, it's like, look how good the graphics are that we really don't even need pre-rendered cutscenes.
Oh, dude, Miles. Ugh.
Miles is taking it. Let's let it go for another second here. There it is. Yeah, see, like they did some impressive damage decals on a, just completely optional piece of clothing.
Are you okay? They were gonna kill you.
Yeah, a little bit.
Alright, so Simon's a douche.
Yeah.
Let's put him on our shit list.
Tougher than I look, huh?
Yeah.
Did you ever watch Kick-Ass?
Yeah, both of them.
Yeah. Those were really good, like lampoonings of like the traditional superhero formula too.
Yeah, they definitely
Rockstar
were.
kept them instead of giving them to the police. It's crazy.
They were lampooning, but it's like they were dramatic in the way that
Yeah.
you expected things to work out well, and they worked out realistically.
Yeah,
like
I guess
how they
it's more
probably
like
should have.
The
Can you check my
characters were
computer?
like lampooning the superhero archetypes.
Yeah,
Well, like in the
And then
first
they
one, you
kinda
had
got-
Nick Cage as like the obvious Batman,
yeah,
But like when he like actually took his mask off and you like saw his personality, it was just Nick Cage being Nick Cage.
yeah. It was just like, hey, you have to be really extraordinary to make this superhero thing work, and they kind of did.
Yeah.
And even he still got killed.
Right.
You know, so it's kind of like Hit Girl and these other people that just have a lot of spunk, I guess, and want to like have a strong sense of justice, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's like kind of the more realistic superhero movie, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
I feel like Deadpool is more of the, I mean, obviously a comedy, but I think,
Deadpool, like the first one in particular, was just so good.
yeah, Deadpool definitely lampooned, as in like let's make fun of this as much as
Yeah.
possible, kind of thing.
Right. Like,
And was
like,
and was
like-
very good.
like Kick-Ass's humor, when it had humor, was way more tongue-in-cheek, whereas Deadpool's was just raucous.
Yeah. And yeah, Deadpool. I like both movies. Deadpool 1 is just a very special movie.
It was,
Like,
yeah, it
I love-
holds up like completely divorced of anything Marvel or superhero related. It like even if it weren't about Deadpool, if it were like some hypothetical superhero that's just made up
Yeah.
for the movie, it would still be a good movie.
Oh yeah, if the MCU never existed and superhero movies weren't big money, it would still be a great movie. Like, and Ryan Reynolds was made for that.
Yeah,
role.
Ryan
Like,
Reynolds is, well, I don't even think he's underrated because he's very successful. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like he's underrated with our crowd because, like, on the surface, he just looks like, another professional handsome man. But
Yeah.
he has, like, the best, like, dry wit kind of stuff about him. And, like, he also is capable of, like, being a major geek about certain things, which just makes him more endearing as a leading man.
Yeah,
Checking now.
there's
We gotta talk. Blowing up the plaza is a bad idea.
So is poisoning the city with an
sorry, I was just like, getting into this all of a sudden.
Yeah.
There has to be a better way to deal with Ross.
He was also just in all those teen movies back when that was a big thing.
Yeah.
Like, just a lovable douche,
Right.
Waiting. Pretty sure he was in at least one of the American Pies, but
Yeah. Was he
If-
the one who fucked Stifler's mom?
no, that was the
That was the original.
Yeah, and that was
And it was the nerdy guy who fucked his mom.
Yeah, it was like the nerdiest of the nerds who was kind of like, I'm a real ladies man, but he wasn't.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, he was definitely like in Waiting. He was,
Yeah,
a good
Waiting
character.
Waiting
And
was
then-
good. That was kind of like
Waiting's a
Dane
good movie.
Cook at his prime too, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
But
Yeah, what happened
no,
to him?
like
Shit.
if there's like one movie that had every like early to mid 2000s actor in it, it was Waiting. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like missing Jason Biggs, and that was like it.
That
And
was
maybe
it.
like Freddie Prinze Jr. and stuff.
Yep.
On it.
Oh man.
And
No,
I was,
dude, you
I
just
didn't
made
work
me
retail.
freaking nostalgic for the early the mid aughts, and I never.
Yeah.
And like to me,
That-
that's still the present.
for that kind of mid to late high school, early college.
Yeah, like
kinda
late
time
high
of life.
school, college. That to me still feels like the present, even though I'm keenly aware that it is not.
Oh my god. For me, I'm still like, I can't believe my 10-year high school reunion was like a few years ago, right? But
Right.
it's like, no,
We're looking-
it wasn't.
We're
wasn't
past
just
our
a few
10-year
years ago.
college reunion at this point, dude.
Exactly.
Good God.
Exactly. And I think about that, it's like, wait, but my high school reunion was just a couple of years ago. It's like, no, it was like 5 years ago.
I might as well just buy a coffin, because, you know. But no, like, I
Yeah.
kind of, you know, like how the joke when we were kids is that our parents were, like, perpetually stuck in either, like, the 70s or the 80s or something.
No way.
Like,
Yeah.
that is the aughts for us.
We're
And
stuck in the aughts.
I just never
And not-
realized it.
Not like, because we're 90s kids, born in the 80s, obviously. 90s kind of defined us.
Right.
And the aughts is where we think we just are.
Yeah. Well, like, if there was
And-
ever a time where we were, like, culturally relevant, it was the mid-aughts.
Yeah. So when someone says like, "Hey, we're closer to 2050 than we are to 1990," it's like, one, that feels totally like a lie.
Yeah, fuck
Two,
you.
fuck you. Two, fuck you for saying that.
It's
I'm gonna be fucking cool forever is what's gonna happen here. Even though I was never that cool to begin with.
But what
I
we were
think
into
like
is
the only
cool.
time like I've in my life where like I've ever felt legitimately cool was when I finally stopped trying to be cool.
Yeah, I
which
get
for
you.
me was college.
didn't like that. Here's the deal, bud.
And college was also just
Spider-Man's
like,
the best leverage I got against Miss Mason.
college was the time where it really is like how I hope it's going to be for younger kids,
Mm-hmm.
where people don't care as much.
Yeah.
You know, people talk about, oh, the high school drama, like, and it's kind of true, where there isn't as much drama.
Right.
People are really just trying, they're more interested in themselves and discovering themselves, and they don't define themselves by other people as much, because they're kind of getting past that teenage discovery,
Right.
and now it's just like, let me spread my wings a bit more.
Yeah, totally.
Hmm.
Feed you underground intel. Whatever you
But yeah, it's just weird to think that like that time in our lives is like actually over a decade ago now, which is just crazy to me.
It's crazy.
new form
Because 10
Everyone-
years used to feel like a unfathomable amount of time,
you won't.
It would span different sections of your life.
right?
Like, this is the first time
And
where
now you're
we've
just
been
kind of
in the
like on
same thing for 10
autopilot until
years.
retirement.
Yeah, right. Basically. And I think that's why it goes so quickly.
Because you're
You
doing
know.
the same thing for long periods of time.
We're gonna head
Yeah.
check on Miss Mason.
I already told you this, but when Addie was like, "Oh yeah, we lived in that apartment basically as freshmen in high school, and now it's graduating college," and it's like, no,
Jesus.
no,
Right.
that feels wrong.
Yeah.
Those 8 years flew the fuck by.
So like I will say from my point of reference, like kids are kind of an oddball because like on
Yeah.
the one hand you like turn the corner and all of a sudden like they're, you know, talking and walking and
is that the
like
reason?
having independent
Sure.
thoughts. But at the same time, like I feel like in the Michael will be 3 this fall, which on the one hand, yeah, that he was just born, whatever, but he's my baby.
Yeah.
But I do feel like that is a substantial amount of time just because of the amount of work you have to put in to keep a tiny human alive.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a weird thing. Like when you're just glancing at it, it feels like it goes really quick, but when you actually think about it, it's like, holy shit, we've been changing shit diapers for 3 years.
Yeah.
So we need past those security shutters.
That is kind of crazy.
It
You
is.
just do it.
Yep.
Let me see what I can do.
Which is why I'm thinking, like, you know, maybe it's time to, like, explore different, like, higher education options or do something new with my career. Or, like not completely new, like the same, like, field, but, like, maybe
Yeah.
explore some different options and things like that. Just,
To a generator.
you know, to get me, like, thinking deliberately again.
We'll have power.
I get you.
Yeah.
And having like kind of a
Like
a
tap the
goal,
brakes
a
and, like,
single-minded goal.
yeah, do
and
get
not
new
just-
goals. Get new goals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's also like we say like, oh, we're so old, we're gonna die, which is like, yeah, but
But
when it comes to that
realistically, like,
stuff,
like in the grand scheme of things, assuming we live an average lifespan, we're not even close.
no. And we say like, oh yeah, 8 years flew by, 10 years flew by. That's true. But if you think about these things that
There
are
it
very
is.
life-changing, you could do something life-changing. You can get a new degree. You can do this and that.
Oh, yeah.
2 years, 4 years, like literally, you know. And how many times is it just like, oh fuck, 5 years flew by? Like
Right.
what the hell?
Maybe we can use that. I'll look
What was
around.
that? I don't know how much Rick and Morty you watch, but I'm
I've been
thinking
meaning to
of
get into it since, like, I actually have access to it.
there's this thing. I don't. You've probably never seen Mr. Poopy Butthole, then, huh?
I'm aware of him, the yellow
Okay.
guy.
He so he's in this episode, blah blah blah. You don't see him for a long time, and then like a season later, you see them at the very end of the season, and he's like, "Hey, it's me. I'm back. You know,
Uh-huh.
I did this, I did that. I got a family. You know, saying all these accomplishments. He's like, I hope you've been using these past 2 years since you've seen me. You know, doing something productive instead of just pissing it away on the couch, doing fucking nothing,
Right.
and like, and it's just like, fuck you. But
Dude,
he's not
that's
even.
that's kind of why I think I'm still dedicated to play the hits, even though we're clearly never gonna light the internet on fire.
Mhm.
You're good.
Like, it's just so nice to be able to do this and document it in a way that at least feels kind of productive, you know?
Oh, yeah.
The engine, it'll be explosive.
Like, even just going back to a Chrono Trigger episode or something and be like, oh, we're talking about Trump. Oh yeah, that was what was going on.
Yeah,
And,
right.
you know, it is. It's the same thing as like if you're a person who takes a lot of pictures, and it's just like you see it, it's like, oh yeah, oh fuck, I have memories of that, but
Yeah.
I wasn't even thinking about them until just now. You know,
Yeah, I'm hoping
you
we,
ever.
I'm hoping we get to leave Trump firmly in the past and just reflect on that as a time of our life now.
Oh my god, dude,
There's only one exit.
I've seen this thing come up a few times, and I feel like it's kind of like
Leave that
the
door open.
antithesis Rick roll, like that
Uh-huh.
it's the anti Rick roll,
Did you
where
ever
someone's like,
consider
holy shit, like look what Trump said, you know, about
Telling you
this, and
suddenly-
they'll link his Twitter, and it's like it's happened to me like legitimately like 3 times now where I'm like, oh fuck, he's
Yeah.
back. They're giving him a platform, what's going on, and you click it and it just says, yeah, this user's account has been suspended.
Like,
And
thank
it's like,
God, I'm still
oh,
in the
that's
real
nice.
world, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh right, we've moved on from that. That's really nice.
Yeah,
and
it's
you
like
see
when
people
you-
doing it on purpose.
It's like when you're having like a really negative dream and you wake up and there's like that huge feeling of relief when you realize that, like, oh man, I totally didn't just wave my dick at my coworkers, you know? That's
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
so
like, oh,
nice.
everyone in my life didn't just die suddenly. Like
Right.
things are actually.
You and I have
and
very
you-
different nightmares.
No, I've had that kind of nightmare too, where you just
Isn't it the
embarrass
worst
yourself.
where you're just like uncontrollably naked and like you can't
and
stop it?
stupid, and you keep making worse decisions,
Right.
and you feel like you're not in control, but you're
Like, why am
embarrassed by
I
it all
going
the same.
outside? Just go to the bathroom and call for help
really-
or something. You know?
That's how stupid our brains are. Is and I get it. It's like trying to prepare for the worst possible situations, but that shit is never gonna happen like that.
Right.
Like, it's, our fucking brains are like, and
Like,
then
why can't I put clothes on? Please,
you gotta
God.
be prepared. What are you gonna do, man? What the fuck you gonna do?
Like,
if you
there's a
can't
million
find your
things I could
clothes?
do. I'm just not doing them. Oh God.
And you never feel like it's a dream.
Yeah.
Like it's so weird.
Right. Like
but
in the
of
moment,
course
it's reality, and it's incredibly
real.
stressful.
It's real and it's stressful.
That's
Like,
what
why am I-
Donald Trump Facebook posts are like.
Seriously, and that was real, and that was terrible. But it's kind of like, why am I late to my wedding dreams were the worst when we were preparing for the wedding for like a solid 6 months. It was like, why am I late to my own wedding? And I'm looking for my tuxedo in a thrift shop. None of them looked right. All the arms are too long, and the sun's starting to go down. They must have already done the vows, and I wasn't there.
Right.
I was supposed to take care of the catering, and now I'm going to Wendy's.
Why? Why am I making such bad decisions?
Terrible.
I gotta say though, on my part, for like my wedding era, Sarah had like such a clear vision of how that day was gonna go down. I really had to do just about jack shit.
Yeah.
Like the one thing I was really responsible for was the wedding cake, and I did it, and it was done.
Yep.
So.
It was. Oh, that's so you probably didn't have like the stress and stuff.
No, so I didn't have those kind of nightmares because like she
Gotcha.
was like just so in charge of it that. Yeah.
I wonder if she had those kind of nightmares.
Yeah, probably. Well, but though that was the thing though, like it wasn't like one of those things where like I was being lazy and she was covering my ass. Like she had a vision and she stuck to it, and I was just there for support.
I do think as I'm getting older, I am having less and less school-related nightmares, but I still have them.
Yeah, when they hit though, it's the worst because you don't expect them at this age.
No, and I wonder if it's the same for you. For me, it's wait, my math class. Of course, I signed up for my math class.
Yep.
I haven't gone all semester.
Well,
I haven't gone all semester, and I paid for that class.
Yeah,
Like,
I've had that exact one. But then sometimes it's even worse in that, like, I'll be like, I haven't gone in 10 years. And I can't continue my work. And I can't support my family.
Like, and that makes sense in the moment. It's just like a
Like, no, you gotta go back and
catastrophically
fucking
bad
do
thing.
this all over again. And that's where, like, you know, that scenario that you and I were just talking about, like, what would I do if I could go back? That would fucking suck. You know, I'd hate to have to do, like, 20 years of homework over again.
Holy shit, dude.
Especially since
it's
I
also
hated
like
it so much the first time.
People say, like, parents, like, and adults at the time are like, oh, you think you have it bad now, like, let's wait till you get a job. And yeah, there are unique stresses, of course, about a job. I don't want to go back to college and write papers.
Yeah, no, dude, I think part of that was just, like, the work environment that our parents, you know, lived through was, like, actually more toxic than what we have now. Like, I feel like, in a weird way, like, workers' rights has progressed to the level that we are legitimately in a better situation, at least socially, at work than they were.
Yes, I agree with that. I think there's a lot of work we have to do looking at other developed countries. But when you think about work-life balance, and it's not looked down upon to want to have that balance, and back in our parents' time, it definitely did seem like you're not staying late, like you're not doing what needs to be done to get work done. Like it seemed a bit more toxic in that way.
Oh,
like
definitely.
you were looked down upon. Geez, what the fuck was I gonna say? Also, fuck these guys with the shields. That was always a little bit annoying. I know you could just like rip the shields out.
Yeah.
But there were certain skills in the first game, if you didn't learn them quickly, like there were skills that were better than others. Like being able to rip shields away was great.
Yeah.
Looks like they locked the doors.
But yeah, anyway.
So the other thing you were saying though, like, I don't know why we're nostalging so hard right now, but like, so the other part of that was, I think one of the other things that's always thrown around today is like, you know, oh man, wouldn't it have been great to graduate college in the 80s and then just go out and get any freaking job and have it pay a salary and you could afford to live off of that and you didn't have student debt? On the one hand, yes, but on the other hand, like when you think about like the level of job satisfaction that our parents seem to have compared to, you know, what we have, like that's kind of a double-edged sword, because on the one hand you can go out and get any job in 1980, but like you get the job that pays the bills and then that's where you are stuck whether you are really into it or not, because it pays.
You think about boomer humor, like I hate my life, I hate my wife,
you and you're theirs forever. because if you go to another company, you have to get promoted and climb the ladder all over again.
Yeah, And in our day, it's like you change jobs and you're probably going to get an increase in salary.
Yeah, right.
Like
That's like the reason to change jobs. Yeah.
yeah, and back then loyalty was such a much bigger thing. Like, excuse me.
No, you're fine.
Yeah. Ugh.
Ow.
The hits in this game are very satisfying.
They are.
You know, they're how dynamic it is, and the original game was like that too. But just to float around, like I definitely enjoyed the combat more than Arkham. And it is still it kind of has that rhythmic dance that Arkham does.
Yes.
But I love the air combat is such a thing that you're just
Yeah.
like
that is totally not a thing in
pulling them
Arkham.
down to you. Yeah, it's like Arkham but with a whole new dimension.
Yes.
And yeah, Ugh.
And
I think I was saying earlier, Insomniac just impressed me so much with Spider-Man. Then also like making this game, having this game be like like a 6 or 8 hour experience with a lot of side quests, and then it's like, oh, by the way, we have Ratchet and Clank too, like a whole new experience.
Yeah, so I may
That's
actually play that. I've never been into Ratchet and Clank, but I'm totally thinking about buying that.
Yeah, you were Jack and Daxter.
Oh, totally.
Which yeah, those were good games too. You could see Naughty Dog like developing their chops there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was never into actually any of those games. Sly Cooper, Jack and Daxter.
Oh, come on.
A lot of those PlayStation exclusive games back on like PS2. I kind of missed it.
Yeah, the PS2 was kind of a weird era for
It was
a lot of things because they were kind of transitioning into that like brown and gray era that I hated so much in the PS3 days.
Yeah. For me, it was still a lot of Japanese RPGs.
Yeah.
Which the PS2 had those for sure, but it wasn't the trove that PlayStation 1 was. Like,
no, they were definitely
was,
slowing down.
That was a magical time. But what was it? Yeah, it was that, and there was also a lot of things like DDR, Katamari Damacy. It was.
Ow.
I was definitely like experimenting with the weird shit.
You
around
were,
that time.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was like trying to find like the old comfort foods. That's like, and like you said, the PS2 kind of slowed down on some of those, but.
And then there was definitely some things that I needed to play, and it took me a lot. Like I still need to play Mass Effect, and it sucks when you get on something so late that it's just like, oh, this is cool. It must have been cool for the time, but you don't know 100% just how important it was or.
Well, they did just release the remasters, so there's your excuse.
Yeah. I see, like, playing a game with Addy or something, like playing a Final Fantasy game like FF6, and it's just like, you don't understand this suicide scene. They just didn't do shit like this.
That's true.
You know, back in the day, like, all that kind of stuff. And even me playing FF12, like, I just have to think, like, man, on the PS2, like, compared to FF10, the scope of that game is just like, holy shit. And I have to imagine, and I appreciate it because of that, but at the same time, it's like, I'm also like 10 years late on it. Like,
Oh yeah, totally. The nice thing about 12 though is it still holds up like as a legitimately good game, not just for the PS2 era, but for the modern era.
It's just a great game, yeah.
Oh, I'm supposed to be lightning punching him now. His armor's broken. I'm stupid.
Oh, okay.
I was like, when's he gonna throw the damn tank? There we go. Let's Ryo Hazuki this shit. Find his pressure points.
Wait. Just make sure he doesn't do anything. I'll be right back.
See what I mean though about her? Like, why does she have fucking superpowers?
Yeah, like she can handle that situation. Like, yeah, she has the badass tech. I get, but it's just like,
But she's like taking on military commandos who have similar tech. You know?
yeah.
Shut up.
And she's freaking 17 years old. Like,
Yeah.
Though I guess that's always true of like the Final Fantasy games, for instance. Like, what makes this teenager so much stronger than every other human being in the world?
Yeah, that was high fantasy. I guess
Yeah,
this is a
I
different
can
kind of
always get
fantasy,
behind
though.
that, though. Plus, there's always like an element of like the way I justified it to myself. It's like, yeah, it's a world-ending calamity and everything, but it's still like just two people, like, you know, fighting each other in the middle of it, you know. And
Yeah,
like if the one wins, the world ends, and if the other wins, the world is saved. It's not like they're two gods fighting or anything like that. It just looks that
Yeah.
way because, you know, these are the characters you're following. Yeah, she totally kills the rhino.
oh damn.
Yeah, so she's turned to the dark side now, and you just tried to stop her, so she's not too happy with you. Max, I'm thinking next episode's gonna be our last episode of Miles Morales.
Oh snap.
Yeah, because we're at the turning point. We're entering the final act here. Okay.
Mhm.
I mean, you handled it well till right now.
Spin the reactor.
Come near me again.
Oh yeah, she doesn't know that her plan to screw over Simon Krieger is also going to demolish half of New York. So that's what he's trying to get her to not do.
My family's dead.
Yankee. I need help.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fuck, man, Finn.
Well, now
Shit.
here's another big turning point in the game here coming up.
I'm gonna go grab a washcloth, some antibiotics.
You're not as funny as the Disney
Miles?
Asian best friend.
Where have you?
Yeah, check this out.
It'll get us.
His mom straight up finds out he's Spider-Man.
What are you wearing?
Didn't she see that shit coming, did you?
No.
But the funny thing is, like, she's just kind of cool with it.
Finn's attack.
Yeah.
Oh snap. Knows about Finn too.
Yeah.
So that was
He just told her
chasing
everything
through the
like a
city.
normal child would in this situation.
The Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's true.
You could have died.
So she says that, and she's like aware of the gravity of it. But then after this, she's like, you know, supporting him as Spider-Man, which is cool. But on the other hand, it's like, you know, your 16-year-old son is like literally
Yes.
fighting crime.
Yeah, that's cool, and at the same time, I can't imagine any parent would react that way.
No.
And the other
They're like,
Spider-Man's
fucking
gone.
stop
Just
this.
keep
Right.
Making things worse and worse.
It's like, where's the other Spider-Man? Let's call him, and we're gonna get this all sorted out.
Yeah. Right, that's what I'd do.
From now on, you're
There's
Junior
nothing
Spider-Man.
You could ever do or ever be that would make me stop loving you. Nada. You give me strength, Miles. That's all a hero really is. Someone who's brave for the people they love.
Now, why don't you be brave indoors for a while?
Just a guy who doesn't give up.
I can also jump off buildings and not get hurt.
Teo's gonna help us
Yeah.
open the door.
Perfect. Let's get this evacuation started. I'll meet you outside. You remind me.
Yeah,
of
maybe
your
it could be
father.
Spider-Man's assistant or
Spider-Man's secretary.
intern. Yeah,
Stay
that
safe.
stays inside and
Why don't you handle Spider-Man's taxes? You're a smart boy. Maybe every once in a while Spider-Man needs a sandwich. You could go swing and get the
Wow.
sandwich.
Hey, I'm telling people in Harlem they need to evacuate before me and your mom go door to door.
Okay, cool. I wanted to say, thanks for always having my back, man. Hey, I could use
So like
your
I
help.
like how
You know,
these two are supposed to be sort of like outsider
I wanna
nerds, but
cross-reference
Genki's got the
everything
best
to you
fucking
when he's at the
hair
store in
like
New
ever.
York. Maybe you could have
Right?
those corp
Like I want that
surveillance
kid's
towers, or-
hair.
I'm in.
Like my hair's not thick enough to pull off a style like that, or I would do
well,
it.
yeah,
Thanks, man.
yeah, have the pompadour in the shave. It's
Right?
like,
Legs a little, then head out.
But
also
I
like,
have
man,
figured out
kids-
that by
kids are so
shaving the
cool
sides
these
of my
days.
head, it makes it a lot easier to manage. But
how can kids say they have problems when they're just so cool?
right? Yeah, it's like when they tried to. I actually liked the first Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movie, but it was freaking hilarious when they tried to sell him as like a outsider.
Right?
Check that.
Like
Tobey Maguire.
People need help.
maybe, yeah.
I was sold. I was sold.
Yeah, but like he can pull off a nerd. Like Andrew Garfield. Andrew Garfield's a great actor, and he did a good job as Spider-Man. But like the parts where he was like in high school getting beat up, you mean to tell me he wouldn't have like 10 of his like super cool soccer friends or something like beating the shit out of Flash Thompson when he tried to lay a finger on him? You know?
Or at least like emo friends, or just like
Something
the-
like that. Yeah.
yeah, his friends that like, I don't know, wrote at poetry slams or something. and-
Right. I'm
Like,
sorry.
he was
There's
that kinda
only
nerd.
like so physically attractive you can be before you are always going to be at least kind of popular.
Yes, that is actually true. Literally, you know what, that was weird? I was, for unrelated reasons, I was thinking about like if a coworker was gonna go crazy and basically shoot up the place.
Right. Cool.
And I was
Cool.
like,
Cool.
and I was
This
like,
is the
huh,
world we
what
live
do-
in. Yeah.
all these people who go postal, you know, and do that kind of stuff, it's like, huh, what do they have in common? It's like, oh, they were disturbed, and they were, yeah. Why is that?
They're kind of uggos.
None of them are lookers.
Right.
Have you noticed that? None of them are lookers. Attractive people don't do that because they don't have those issues in their life. Attractive people aren't incels.
And if they do look kind of good on camera, like when they're going through all the news footage about them, zoom out on their pictures. I guarantee you they're short.
yeah, it's also like, how many
we're going to hell.
janitors? How many janitors do you see that are like 5'11" and above? Like,
Right.
it doesn't really happen. There's if
Oh
you're
my
if you're somewhat
God.
attractive or if you're tall, like, life's just gonna be a little
Right.
bit better.
Yeah. People
isn't
will
it?
find a way to promote you.
Right? Yeah, that's very true.
Max, next time on Play the Hits, I think we're gonna wrap up Smiles
Smiles.
Morales, and then we're gonna have to pick out a new game for Summer in the City, besides
shit.
Shenmue, of
All
course.
All right, man. It's been a ride.
Yeah,
Looking
hell
forward
of
to
a
it.
ride. And you've really seen like maybe like, even though we're almost at the end of the story, you've really seen probably about a third of what the game has to offer. So definitely
that's
give it a
good.
play when you get a PS5.
Yeah, that's good. It's glad it's
Maybe she did.
really a full experience.
Yeah, lots
you
of
know?
cool side stories, and then just like, you know, bonus missions and like swinging challenges and things like that. So yeah, check it out.
For sure. And you check out Erased. I think you'll like it.
Erased. All right, we will catch you next time, man.
All right, man.
Listen, I'll take the new form. Destroy it if I have to.